Hey guys, welcome back to Just Cook with Dustin. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make Temaki Sushi. Te means hand, maki means roll. So we're going to make some hand rolls. While living in Japan for 3 years, this was the most common way to have sushi at home. This is a video from one of the kindergartens that I taught English at, where these children ages 3 to 6 are making one huge sushi roll. One of the things I enjoyed most about teaching English at this kindergarten was the fact that they taught the kids how to cook, and that was part of the English lessons. They would learn the English words for carrots and apples and potatoes, and it was a lot of fun teaching them this. So, with this maki roll as inspiration, let's get started. Okay, the first thing we got to get started with here is rice. I'm doing 4 cups of rice here in my rice cooker. I'm going to rinse this 3 times until the water runs clear and then put it in my rice cooker to get it started cooking. I have a video that I will leave a link to up in the right hand corner of how to cook the perfect sushi rice without a rice cooker. So if you haven't seen that yet, you can click that link and see how to make that at home on the stovetop. And we're going to get a bowl of water here, and we're going to place our frozen imitation crab meat in there, and our frozen ahi tuna steaks, as well as some frozen shrimp, and set those aside so they can thaw while we prep our vegetables. This is a hothouse or English cucumber that we're going to cut down into sticks that are about 2 inches in length and a couple millimeters in diameter. The next we're going to use is radish sprouts. These are most commonly used in sushi, and they have a slight peppery flavor to them. And the next vegetable I'm going to prepare here is white onion. I am slicing this as thin as I possibly can. You can see here, you can see through this. It is a super thin slice, and a trick that I learned while living in Japan is we're going to take this and soak it in water. Putting it in water is going to take all of the juice that's in the onion, and it's going to take it out, so all you get is a nice sweet clean onion flavor without the pepperiness of it or the spice of it. And this is great not just for sushi, but if you're going to put it on top of a fresh salad. Next, we're going to take our frozen crab, now that it's thawed, out of the water, and we're going to place it in paper towels, and we're going to press this to get as much water as we possibly can out of the crab legs. We don't want any water remaining in this, so you can use paper towel or a kitchen tea towel to press this and get as much of the liquid out as possible as we make our crab salad for our sushi rolls. If you haven't yet, now is a great time to hit that subscribe button. After we've gotten the imitation crab meat completely dried, we're going to give it a rough chop before placing it into our bowl, where we're going to add 3 other ingredients to it. We're going to use Kewpie mayonnaise. Kewpie mayonnaise is very particular. It's got a unique flavor and taste to it. It's worth the treasure hunt to find it. I believe you can get it off of Amazon, so check that out. Also, we're going to add sriracha. How spicy you want this is totally up to you. You can add a lot or a little. And toasted sesame oil. I keep my crab meat on the mild side because this is one of my kids' favorites. Next up, we're going to take our pre-cooked cocktail shrimp, and I'm going to cut this in 2 different ways. We're going to remove the tail here, and this one I'm just going to butterfly open, and this makes it so it can lay flat. If you're going to do it nigiri with the little ball of rice and you want to lay it on top flat with some avocado and onion, or if you want to, you can make it so that it is just one long shrimp. And so to do that, you're going to do little slits all along the back side of the shrimp, just tiny slits, not going all the way through. And then we're going to turn it around and put little slits all along the inside curve of the shrimp, and this will allow it to lay flat. This next trick I learned from Cooking with a Dog. If you haven't seen her YouTube channel, it is a great resource for all things Japanese food. Take some sake, put it in a bowl, and then take your fresh ahi tuna steak out of the package after it's been thawed, and we're going to rinse this a little bit with water, and then we're going to put it in the sake and kind of give it a second rinse with the sake, and then we're going to pat it dry with a paper towel. That sake is going to remove any kind of fishy smell that there might be on the fish. It's going to give it a clean smell. It should have no odor to it other than a little hint of sake. And the fishy smell that might have been there, it's just from the packaging. It's not because the fish is bad in any way. Now, as we cut this, there is a grain to it, just like beef. And you want to square this off. So I'm going to cut off all the rounder edges of this to square it off. And don't worry, those pieces we're going to use for something else a little bit later. And then once we get it squared off, we're going to cut against the grain. And it's ideal to do one smooth slice. If you saw back and forth, you can see here how it can actually come apart. And so you want to do one smooth slice all the way through the fish down to the cutting board. Just one smooth slice all the way through, and this keeps the fish from separating. You don't want to do any kind of sawing action, just one smooth slice. Now, as I prepared this second tuna steak here for you, I wanted to read from you a New York Times article talking about fresh fish. It's a misnomer in America that you want to have the freshest fish possible for sushi, but the reality is that 50 to 60% of sushi in the United States is frozen at some point in its journey from the ocean. And the sushi could have been kept in a deep freeze for up to 2 years. Most would be even more surprised to learn that if the sushi has not been frozen, it is illegal to serve in the United States. Food and Drug Administration regulations stipulate that fish to be eaten raw, whether as sushi, sashimi, ceviche, or tartare, must be frozen first to kill parasites. Tuna, a deep-sea fish, is the only exception to the rule. But tuna is often frozen too, not necessarily to make it safe, but because global consumption of sushi continues to rise. Frozen fish usually costs about half as much as wholesale fresh fish. So keep that in mind. It doesn't have to be fresh fish. You actually want it to be frozen to keep from getting any parasites or getting sick from the fish. So it's just an American thing that we want it to be fresh, but you really want it to be frozen. I will leave a link to this article down below so you can read that for yourself. So with those little pieces of the ahi tuna that I had cut off to square it up and set aside, this is what we're going to use to make our spicy tuna. We're going to just give this a rough chop and place it in the bowl, and it's the same 3 ingredients that we're going to put on this that we did with the crab salad. We're going to use Kewpie mayonnaise, sriracha, and toasted sesame oil. But I'm also going to add one other spice to this, and that is a 7-spice, a Japanese 7-spice called Nana Togarashi. So here we go. We've got the Kewpie mayonnaise. How much you put in this is totally up to you. You don't have to put the mayonnaise in it at all. Some sushi restaurants, it's just sriracha, sesame oil, and probably the 7 chili spice that they add to it. But I like mine with mayonnaise, so we're going to give that a mix. And also give it a taste to see how we like it. If we need to add any more sriracha to it, how spicy do you want it? And again, I'm going to also add the Japanese 7 chili spice to this that's called Nana. Nana means 7, Togarashi, so 7 chili spice. You can find this at your local Asian market. Give that another mix and a taste, and if it's as spicy as you want it, it is good to go. Alright, now that we're done with our crab, shrimp, and ahi, we're going to take that last ingredient, the onions that we're soaking in the water. We're going to dry this off as well as we can with a paper towel. Again, soaking it in the water takes away all that peppery onion flavor, the bite the onion has, and it just gives you a clean, sweet onion flavor, and it's not even going to leave onion breath. So give this a try. Like I said, even if you're just using this to put on a salad, it's a great little trick that I learned there in Japan. So we have our cucumber, our radish sprouts, and our onion. We're going to go over to the rice cooker, get some rice, and we're going to put this on a plate and season it with some sushi vinegar. The sushi vinegar, you can also see it in the stores as seasoned rice vinegar, but sushi vinegar, it's got a sweetness to it. I'm going to put a little on the paddle, and then I'm going to put some on the rice. And how vinegary this is also a personal preference, so just taste it as it goes along. You can't see it in the video, but I have a fan that's blowing on the rice so that we can get the temperature off this. You don't want to put hot rice on your nori, otherwise it just makes it super chewy and you can't really bite through the nori. So you want this to come down to room temperature. So you're getting the sushi vinegar all through the rice and you're cooling it down at the same time. So here's a full sheet of nori seaweed. For the Temaki Sushi, we're going to fold this in half and then fold it in half again, giving us 4 squares. This is what I call Japanese street tacos. You fold it corner to corner after you've put the ingredients in it that you want, and it's just so much fun. It's interactive. Everybody's sitting at the table, making it what they want, the way they want it, with what ingredients they want. It's a lot of fun. It's an interactive meal. So we're going to take one of the nori. We're going to put the rough side out because that's the side we want to put the rice on. So we're going to take a little bit of the rice here, and then it's just really anything you want. I'm going to go with a cucumber slice here, some of the radish sprouts, and then I'm going to take a piece of the ahi and a little bit of avocado, and it's the perfect bite. Also, again, we're going to take another sheet of nori here, the rough side out. We're going to put the rice on the rough side. And this one, I'm going to use one of the shrimp with avocado, onions, and then I'm going to put a little extra Kewpie mayonnaise on it. This was one that we used to have in Japan, especially when we went to the sushi train or the kaiten sushi. It's amazing. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, that you will give this recipe a try, and we will see you again here next week. Take care.